Hey, sorry for the lighting. It's one of these late night videos. It's actually the last video I think I'm going to make before plunging back into the world of work. I've been on Natsuyatsumi, and Natsuyatsumi is a summer holiday. And being a teacher, you get the perks of summer holiday, summer vacation, and it's been 5 weeks now, going on my last week, and I need to do some lesson planning. This year, the government put their seal of approval on a curriculum, an English curriculum for the 5th and 6th grade, and 2 of the 3 schools I service have adopted it. They didn't make it mandatory. They just said, we approve of this, and Japanese mind says, the boss approves. We should implement it. If it's good for the government, it's good for our school. The problem, though, is that it's not worth anyone's seal of approval. They're really quite lame. The lessons progress very, very slowly. They oftentimes don't have enough material in the individual lesson plans to fill up the entire period of 45 minutes. Sometimes they can't even fill up half that time. So I'm left to fill in the gaps. And you'd think that'd be nice. You already have half the lesson planned for you. Where before I was doing everything from scratch, from absolute scratch. And that's really not the case, because when I was doing something from absolute scratch, I had total control over the direction and how long we spent on one subject, and what subjects we talked about, and what language they learned, and at what speed, and so on. But with this, you have to stay in the boundaries of what's being taught, or else, like, if you progress too quickly in your own activities, then when you come around that next time, that next day, that next lesson, whenever that is, I service 3 schools, 6 classes, 2 to 3 sections each, 1,600 students. I don't see every class all that often, maybe once or twice a month. But anyway, when I do finally come back, if we had already progressed farther than that next government lesson would teach, the kids get bored real fast. And 5th and 6th graders, I don't why 5th and 6th graders? They should have given like the curriculum to the 1st graders. The 1st graders are like, they're inhuman. They adore everything. They can have fun about anything. Anyone can write a lesson for 1st graders. 5th and 6th graders are just real, it's the prepubescent stuff. They know what's cool, they know what's not cool. And the government lessons are not cool. And I agree. They're all very colorful, lots of production value. They have their student notebooks, and they have all the little characters. They have Ken and Mai and Ichiro and whoever else, and they all have a CD where there's a bunch of voice actors, and Ken says, "Hi, my name is Ken." Actually, here.
Hello, my name is Suzuki Ken. Nice to meet you.
And yes. So, without further ado, I wanted to talk about something I have been dealing with. I'm one of those people that do actually pace for hours and think. I would later in life, maybe I'll adopt smoking a pipe. It's not healthy. There's no reason. It's just vanity. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I think it's good too, because I do have sort of an elitist air about me that I'm not particularly proud of, but I can't really deny. So the pipe would work. It would seem to me that eternity is necessary for any kind of worldview that you have. If you break it down into the 2 big ones, either that there only is a natural world, or there exists a creator that created the natural world from nothing, both necessitate some manner of eternity. Either you believe the natural world has always been there, that is to say, its most fundamental nature, being energy, truly cannot be created or destroyed, and has just always existed. Or you believe the universe did have a definitive point in which it began, and your necessity for eternity is accounted for by some supernatural being, or the supernatural being, I suppose, most appropriately. The problem, though, is infinite regression in both cases. In both cases, we're talking about infinity here. Both cases. And the thing with infinite regression, if you're familiar with this or not, I think oftentimes it's misrepresented as something that if you try to explain something as being infinite, there's this thing out there that says it must be impossible because it's infinitely regressing. And of course that doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't. What really it's saying is you cannot demonstrate something that it infinitely regresses. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. It means rather that you can't reason it, because reasoning and logic follows a sequence. And if you're accounting for this present moment because of the moment right before, your justification for the existence of reality would never actually end, you see. That's the reductionistic worldview, the deterministic worldview, that why is now as it is because of just the moment before, right? And what caused that? The moment before that. And it goes back either to a point in which the universe existed, and in that you say, well, the universe began, therefore it exists, or you never have a definitive point. And in that you have this very awkward situation of not really being able to justify rationally the existence of anything. If you want to go down that path, I mean, people do that. People say things like, all of life is just a dream, man. It's all just an illusion, dude. And what I reject about that is, like, we all have dreams, right? Imagine that in your dreams you talk with people and you feel compelled to convince them all to be Democrat. Well, it wouldn't make any sense, would it? So if you truly believed that everything was just an illusion, you would just be absolutely quiet and not ramble on about how it's all an illusion. Because in engaging in conversation with each other, you're assuming that the person you're talking to is an independent variable when compared to yourself. And that doesn't make sense if it's all just an illusion. So we have this problem of infinite regression. And so the ignorance that has to come with that, the unjustifiability that has to come with that, either goes into this reality or it goes into something that pre-exists logic, being God. If you're comfortable talking about reality in terms that you can't actually justify, if you can't really say that the real world is real, if that's not self-evident to you, then I can't help you, But if you use what seems, like I said, this eternity thing seems necessary. Maybe there's a worldview out there that doesn't need eternity in any way, and if so, let me know. That'd be interesting. But in the theological account, eternity is God. Well, God, then, if he's eternal, then you couldn't justify God. But justification, reasoning, logic, these things come from our world, the lawfulness of our world. So if God precedes our world, then it's no leap of logic to say that he would also escape logic itself. He's the foundation of logic. He could have chose it any way. They say that there are alternate dimensions, alternate universes that operate by different rules, different physical causation principles, and therefore operate by different logic. Different logic because the universe itself is different. So the originator, the creator of all of these universes, would precede any form of logic, no matter in this universe or the next. So it seems more acceptable to put this necessary ignorance when it comes to matters of eternity into something that would precede a universe, rather than be caught up in not being able to actually demonstrate logically that reality exists, which is what you would have to do if you say the basis of reality, energy, is eternal, because you can't justify that energy actually exists. If you say it's common sense, I agree. And that's why I believe in God. Because to say that energy is eternal is to say that it's not justifiable by the observation made by whoever made up the observation of the problem of infinite regression. Anyway, take care.